Hey everyone, Nathan of Hey Poor Player here again with part 2 of my GDC coverage for Hey Poor Player. Sorry for the delay on the videos and the articles. As I said in the last video, I caught the GDC cold and my voice actually deteriorated over time. It's a little bit better now, but yeah, it was really hard to do videos when you're so sick, but no excuses. I'm here with part 2, and I know you guys don't want to hear me talk so much about my life, so let's get on with the expo. So one of the panels I had the luxury of going to was the Owlboy panel. So the big thing about this talk was Owlboy and how the change in art directly affected the development of Owlboy, which, if you don't know, took 9 years to make. Now, Owlboy is a beautiful game, but there were certainly struggles with making a game that beautiful, and it definitely shows in the talk. There was a lot of cut content, there was a lot of struggles with aging technology and newer technology, and to make the vision of Owlboy they truly wanted, they had to make a lot of sacrifices, and that was the big thing that kind of hit me during the talk. The talk was very personal, more so than probably the other GDC panels, because they very much talked about how Owlboy is a reflection of their lives, and that Owlboy over the course of its life sort of took a shape and a form that didn't happen until later on, because it became more personal to them and what was going on in their lives. And I think that's really cool, because that's kind of the cool thing about indie games, is that you don't have to go through all these people and all the bureaucracy. It's really people, a small group often, making a game that they want to make, and that bleeds over. So I thought it was super cool. If you're into Owlboy, if you like the art, and why wouldn't you, it's a super beautiful pixel art game. This panel was really cool, and just the fact that it was personal and it came from people's hearts made it even better. I do recommend watching this on the vault when it's up if you are an indie developer, because the things and the tips they gave during the panel would probably be very useful for you, so you don't have a 9-year development cycle. So yeah, that's cool. I really enjoyed this panel. The best way I can describe Riftstar Raiders is that it is Diablo in space, and that is a really cool sentence now that I think about it. So the point of this game is that you pilot a spaceship, and this is a cooperative game, so you can play with up to 4 people. Now the cool thing about this game is that you sort of go through levels, and there is a story mode. So you can go through these levels, and you by yourself or cooperatively shoot down aliens and try to progress through the level. The thing that makes this game very different though is that there's a shit ton of customization that allows you to create the ship or the role of ship that you want. So for example, we were in the customization screen, and one of the developers showed me that you can customize your ship to be a tank, to be a frontline tank. And as someone who played a lot of MMORPGs, that is super cool. And he even showed me the skill tree, the amount of weapons you can equip, the boosters, etc, etc, and that's cool. That's a cool concept for a game. A top-down shooter with Diablo dungeon crawling elements sounds like something that should have happened, but it's not something I've heard of recently, so it's cool to see that that kind of game exists. Also, this looks like a game with a lot of depth, but it's kind of easy to get into. Because of the top-down nature of the game, you can kind of jump into it and just want to blow things up. You can totally do that, but if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of min-maxing, you can totally do that. And as someone who, again, loves MMORPGs, that's interesting. I like these MMORPG elements in games when it's appropriate, and it feels very appropriate in this game. This game is slated for a 2017 release, and I totally like it. I mean, maybe it's just because it hits all the sweet spots for me, but I do like seeing these sort of hardcore raid elements into games with simple presentation, and I think this is a cool game that deserves your attention. So I got a chance to play Surf World, which is really weird because I have never surfed in my life. What I found was a game with a simple presentation and a simple premise, but a game that's also super challenging and I was bad at. Not to say I didn't have fun though, but I'm probably just as bad at surfing in this game as I probably am in real life. So the point of this game is sort of like a Tony Hawk game, where you rack up points by doing cool tricks and then progressing to levels and getting more customizable objects. The thing with this game though is that the physics are unique because it's surfing, so that opens up a whole possibility of ways you could play the game. Now the trick system is super easy, but working that with the physics of how the surfing works in the game is super challenging, at least it was for me. So the game is going to come with 6 playable characters along with a bunch of locations that are from real life surf spots. So that might be appealing to those who actually know these spots and actually know anything about surfing. There's also going to be a ton of game modes, and the thing that kind of stood out to me about the game is that, again, I'm not interested in surfing, but I did like the game, and as I was playing the game, I wanted to get a higher score. I wanted to keep playing. I wanted to figure out the physics of the game. I wanted to get better. It's a game that has a simple premise but is super hard to master, and that's something that's cool, and it looks great, I might add. And so what's not to like about it? Even if you're not into surfing, I think this game would be cool, but if you are into surfing, thank you so much for watching this video. I know that I've had a delay in sort of the uploads of these videos, but again, I was sick, but I will be uploading part 3 as soon as I can. And just because the GDC sort of master post coverage videos are almost over doesn't mean that I won't be still covering specific games that I saw at GDC. Keep an eye out for those articles and those videos on heypoorplayer.com. And thank you so much for watching. Have a good day.